Hey there, this is Renessa Layne, and I just finished delivering a keynote address for the International Association of Women. And guess who was on my mind when I finished that talk? You were. And here is the thought that came to mind for me. I would bet my hard earned money, whether you are a lifelong careerist, whether you are side gigging it in your business, whether you're trying to bring a big idea or mission to life, I would bet my hard earned money that you are not charging enough. And when we think about charging, we oftentimes think about money. And I'm all about you getting highly paid. So that means some of you, if you're in business, you're probably not charging enough for your products or services and what you're offering in the marketplace. If you are on the career side, you might not be charging enough in terms of salary for the role that you play or the leadership that you provide. That's just a piece of it, though. So I sat down and I actually got on trusty dusty Google and looked for what are the synonyms to charge, because I knew that there was more to this message than just the money. And so I looked up synonyms, and here's what I found. To charge means to ask for, to demand, to expect, to collect. And when I saw that, I was like, bingo, that's why. I was inspired to leave this message for you, because I've been speaking to so many folks across the week, and that's the common thread. We are not charging enough for what we want in our career, in our business, in our leadership, in our life. And so the charge and the challenge and the inspiration that I have for you is, are you asking for what you want? Oftentimes we ask for what we think we can get, or we settle for what we think is possible, but are you really asking for what you really want? Because the bottom line is, a closed mouth doesn't get fed. And if you don't ask for what you want, you don't get. And you'd be surprised if you just ask how the doors open. I have been asking for some things the last couple of months, and every single thing that I have asked for, I have gotten, even though it was out of the scope of what other people thought they would be willing to provide. Are you demanding? Are you paying? And I don't mean in a bitchy way, but I mean, are you putting demand on how people should treat you, on boundaries that you set, for others? Because oftentimes when we're passive, we don't get what we want. But when we put a demand on the universe, a demand on God, a demand on the people that are around us for how they get to show up for us and with us, it revolutionizes the experience that we have as we're creating our perfect work and doing all the other things that are a part of our life. What's your expectation? Expect was one of the words for charge. Has your expectation been tainted and contaminated and eroded, whether it's because of COVID and pandemic and challenges and all of the homeschooling and all the things that kind of enter into our lives? But what's been your expectation? If you're a woman of faith, what's your expectation for what God will deliver for you in your career, in your business, in your leadership, in your life, in your marriage, in your parenting? Are you charging enough in the realm of expectation? And then lastly, are you collecting? Because it means nothing if you can't collect on the back end. And how do you know if you're collecting? The only way that you can collect, if let's say you've got this dream, you want to do something, in the marketplace, and you want to add value in some way, and I've talked to so many women who've had dreams for 15, 20, 25 years. They've had ideas on their brains. And I'm like, well, what have you been doing? Like, what you doing? They had a couple of instances where they put themselves out there. It didn't quite go the way that they wanted, but there was no hustle. There was no consistency. There was no all in. And so you can't collect if you're not willing to put in the deposits. And so for some of you that are listening, there's something that you want. There's something you want to do. There's something you want to be. There's something you want to have. And the question is, have you been willing to take the steps, to have the conversations, to make the call, to ask for the help, to put the strategies in place, to do the legwork, so that then you can reap the harvest, collect, on the investments and the deposits that you've made? That's what it means to charge more. And that's why it was on my heart that somebody on here, I don't know, it might just be one person I'm talking to. And if it's just one person, well, then you know what? It was worth it. But there's somebody here who needs to charge more. And so, if that is you, if you are at a place where you are itching to do something more, you're itching to create your perfect work, you may not know what that looks like. You don't know if it's a career pivot, you don't know if it's a business, you don't know if it's this big idea, or you do know and you don't know how to get there, or you don't know how to monetize it and get paid, then you need to talk to me. So, the charge is to get on my calendar. There's a link somewhere on this page or somewhere in this email or wherever this thing is posted. There's a link for you to connect to me and get on my calendar. Let's talk it through. Let's work some magic and let's figure out how to get you in the marketplace, doing some good and being a force for good in the world. That is the end of my rant. Love you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.